I was telling you that SSDs are better options whereby the rate at which data is being sent, stored, and retrieved from them is very, very high compared to the what? The normal hard disks. If the old drive is still functional, consider adding a drive instead of removing and replacing the older one. That is in the case you have a hard disk of maybe 500, and then you can decide to just add another one of the same capacity to make 1 terabyte you get. So instead of maybe getting one for 1 TB, and then you remove the existing one. The other method of just topping up is more affordable, cheaper. Completely replacing the hard drive will involve some additional steps here, because you know very well that it is the hard disk that holds the operating system. That means that the moment you're replacing the hard disk, you have to reinstall the operating system, and of course even other programs like Microsoft Office suite, like the browsers and so on, in case they are not default. Then sometimes you also have to upgrade. Last time I told you, okay, Sylvester has something to say. Please go on. Sylvester, come on.
Yes, Mister. I have a question. How can I upgrade a hard drive?
Anyone who can answer that question based on what I've maybe been discussing? Anyone? Any of you from a team? Anyone who can help us to answer that question? How can Sylvester upgrade his hard drive on the hard disk? Isaac, okay. Okay. But have you been, okay. Now, Sylvester, upgrading a hard Sylvester, you see, you can have a laptop, you can have a desktop computer, right? And these computers, let's say they have maybe 250 GB, right? But you realize you have a lot of content that you're storing on this particular device. And the 250 is no longer enough. So what you do, if it is now a desktop, not a laptop, now first I want to first deal with a desktop. What you do is most desktops, in most cases, if it is a tower system unit, not a desktop, we have 2 types of system units. Those small ones, which are desktops, where you have to put it on top of the desk, then a monitor sits on top of it. Then we have even the tower, the standalone, which are actually big in size, which have enough room for expansion, meaning that you can just install, like you can just add another hard disk, whereby now one becomes a slave and another one, like the previous, becomes a master, you get, whereby now there is one that has the operating system, and then this other one just works like a partition, you get. Of course, I'm preparing so we can have this physically, because I believe to some people it might be making sense, but to others, they could be just having imaginations. But yes, I'm preparing so that at least before, yes, we close with this kind of course for the semester, we can have a session where we can perform such what? Such, yeah. And I'm preparing also to take you through another practical session, which is going to be virtual, a practical virtual session. Yeah. And in the case of anything as usual, you know, you have to provide the feedback, and then what you don't understand, I can come in, I can add, you know, yeah, because I want you to understand this very, very well. But that is upgrading the what? The hard disk. But then when it comes to laptops, it is better that if you have one with the maybe 250, then you remove that hard disk and then put the one with high capacity, being that the laptops don't have enough room for expansion, that you will just add another what? Another hard disk. So that maybe you can have 2 hard disks within one laptop. I don't know if my submission has made some sense regarding your question. Hello, have I answered your question? But are you able to hear me? Okay. Now, let me allow me share again. Yeah, we will continue to look at the various areas that needs to be at our fingertips when it comes to maintenance, especially on the upgrading bit. Yes, whereby we needed to just give me a sec. I need to perform something small here. Just give me a sec. Okay, yeah, sorry for some small interruption. Now I was telling you that I might have told you one day that not every computer can actually read any optical disc. There are some computers, though of course now they are a bit rare, that can only read what we call maybe CDs. And when you put actually even a VCD cannot read, when you put a DVD cannot read. And there are some that can read actually all of those, but then they cannot write. Like you cannot burn a CD or you cannot burn a DVD in that particular drive you get. So good enough that technology has improved that most of the computers that come on the market at the moment, they come when at least they can be able to read and write from CDs to at least the DVDs minimum. But then there are some that are also even Blu-ray. You get, yeah, a Blu-ray is like a mini disc, whereby only that for it, as you know very well, you listen carefully and quote me well. And CD is not the same as a DVD, and the DVD is not the same as a Blu-ray. You see, a CD can store up to 700 MBs of data. That is the same as a VCD. And then when it comes to a DVD can store up to 4.7 GB of data. So, meaning that a GB, I mean, a DVD is bigger than what? It's bigger than the CD. terms of storing what data, yet in physical appearance they are the same. You get, yes, they look similar, and only that, of course, yeah, they are not similar if you are used to them. Yes, the layer of a DVD is not the same as that of the one of a CD and a VCD. Yes, here you can just look at a drive without even reading what is written on top, either DVD or CD. Then I'm able to tell that is a CD, that is a DVD, that is a VCD, and still I'm even able to tell a disk that has data and how much data is on that disk by just looking at it before inserting it even in the computer. I'm able to tell an empty disk. So it is just, this is just a matter of getting used to like working with something for somewhat, for some time, you get. Though this may not be the case for the flash disk. Flash disk, I can only tell whether it has content, whether it doesn't have content after inserting it into the what? Into the computer. So it is not that I can just touch and feel whether there is, this one is very heavy, and then I know this has data, and this one is light and doesn't have data. So then we also have what we call the CPU. We can upgrade what? The CPU. Yeah, we can upgrade the CPU, like I might have told you that. Let me check here properly. Yeah, a faster processor can help the computer run faster, right? But this is not an easy upgrade, and it should be approached with a lot of caution. I repeat, with a lot of caution, because the moment this is like now brain surgery, you get, when someone is to perform a brain surgery, it's not like performing same role as someone who is making an operation on someone's leg, because any slight mistake, like maybe a blood drop to the brain, it can lead into very big loss of life, or even someone with what mental disruptions, you get. So that appeals to the CPU. When we are to upgrade the CPU, you see, I told you one day, we have CPUs which have what we call pins, and there are some that actually also don't have pins and pinless, you get. But the most delicate ones are those with the pins. You see, a CPU goes in a socket called a socket connector, you get. That is where you insert your CPU, then on top of the CPU, you smear the isopropyl alcohol. Then after smearing it, then you put what we call the heat sink on top of it, and then after putting the whole sink, then we can put the fan, you get. So, but those ones which have pins, I don't know, but you will forgive me, but this is too much. On and off, abruptly on and off. Yeah, now I was telling you that when it comes to upgrading a CPU, first of all, you have to first to know which type of CPU is supported by your motherboard, because that is where it goes, you get. After identifying that, if the current one is maybe 2.0 gigahertz, then you want to put one of 3.0 gigahertz processor speed. So that means that you're going to physically remove the current one and then replace it with the new better version, you get. So basically, that is when it comes to updating what? Upgrading the CPU. Yes. So keep in mind that performance improvements with a faster processor may be negligible without sufficient RAM. This is what I told you one day. Yeah, we don't want to cause what we call, or what the doctors may call, immune imbalance, yes, in the body system. Now, for our case, we don't want to cause what we call device imbalance. You get, these have to have a balance between the amount of RAM in your computer and then the processor speed. We cannot have a computer running 2.0 gigahertz processor speed and then you put RAM which is 16. You get, normally there has to be a balance. Yes, how do you tell the balance? What we do is now if you have processor speed, actually we have to depend based on the processor speed. If your processor speed is maybe 2.0 gigahertz, the maximum you can put is times 2. You get, yeah, that means you can put RAM of 4 GB. You get, so it works well. So the same if you have like a 4 GB, I mean 3.0, that one actually already can be times 2 plus 1, which goes up to even, okay, if we have 3.0, yes, you can put times 2 plus 2, which is 8. Here you can even put 8 GB. Yeah. So let me hope at least everyone knows how to check for these specifications. Like you can get to know how to check for the amount of RAM in that particular in a computer that you're using, how to check for the processor speed, and then how do we check the capacity of the hard disk, and how do we check for amount of RAM, as well as the graphics cards that are installed on your machine. So then we have we go to maintenance. When we talk about maintenance, we are basically looking at that umbrella term that encompasses various forms of computer maintenance needed to keep a system running. So the two main components of a system maintenance are preventive maintenance and the corrective maintenance. When we talk about preventive maintenance, as you hear, actually, yes, we can even take this to the normal saying, prevention is better than what? Cure. So before even we go to look at the corrective maintenance, just to know that the best maintenance procedure we should always adhere to is the preventive maintenance. Allow me to check for someone who's texted here. So I request you put for us this recording on Moodle. It is very, very fine, but like I said, being that this recording has been on and off, so it is in the form of clips, which may actually not be a consistent recording, yeah, making it hard for someone to follow, because the presentation has to flow, at least, yes, that maybe from this, we talked about this, we went to this, we went to this, but now when someone finds a video on Moodle and then it's just talking about straight away upgrading the CPU, you get, then someone would be wondering how did they arrive at this. But anyway, I may, if I'm to share it, it would take me some time, because I need to get some time first to merge these videos. Like I have to edit and merge them so that they can flow well. Otherwise, yes, obviously, I have to put it, though it may take me some time. I can see what the best way of approaching it. Yeah, but the reason as to why I'm recording is still to share with you people. But then I don't want people to keep dodging classes because they know the recording will be there for them to do what. Yeah, and I'm going to be I'm going to be, of course, recording attendance as well as, yeah, recording attendance is key, and we have to take it very, very serious. Then, let me hope you did some assignment. And today we are going to have another simple one. I think it can help as well. It can help to inform me whether you have understood. What I'm going to ask is not what is in the slides, but it is what we have basically what I've been talking about, to just to test whether the way you interpret it is the way how I intended you to do what, to get it. So that is it. But I will share the recording, no worry. Yeah, we're talking about the preventive maintenance, which involves taking measures to help keep the system functioning. Now, preventive maintenance is like going into hospital before you fall sick, but you go, they check you up, then they can predict and tell you, you know what, it is better for someone to always deworm, you get, yeah, every after maybe 3 months you deworm, you get. So that is preventive maintenance, you get. Yeah, it is always good that someone, you clean yourself, you shave off the hair, you brush, whereby you don't get hygiene related what cases. So that is all preventive what maintenance. So now when it comes to computers, preventive maintenance is defined as the proactive maintenance of equipment before the breakdown happens. You get. So preventive maintenance involves routine tasks to ensure that your system is running optimally and to avoid the problems before they do what? They arise, you get. So this is the best way. You have to blow the dust from the computer. You have to keep scanning the computer for viruses and remove, you have to clean it whereby it does not contain a lot of dust. You have to keep updating your software so that, you know, like now this very morning as I was coming, actually, the reason as why when I reported late to class, around maybe 15 minutes past, yeah, I was coming and then I was just ambushed by one of the schools where I dropped my kid. Yeah, so I was told, you know what, yeah, yesterday we were trying to communicate to parents about what the government pronounced that the semester, sorry, that the term is going to do what? To end on the 25th, yes. But then we failed because we have data is there on the model, but then we can actually even go to compose. After composing, we put all your emails, but then when we click send and also click the attachment of this one, this file, the computer does not attach. Like they click on attach icon, but it does not browse to bring them a file to be attached, and even if they click on send, still it does not send. Now, after listening to them, when I went to check on the PC, I realized that they had various browsers. So I decided to use another browser. I used the Microsoft Edge. When I used Microsoft Edge and asked them to log into their email, then we composed, attached, and it was able to do what? To send. Then the other browser was Mozilla. Then I realized that obviously if we can use the same computer, but in different applications, and it is only one application that is not performing what other applications can do, that means the issue is on what? The application. So what I did was just to, actually I wanted to first remove Mozilla, but as I was trying to do so, then I saw there was an option of refreshing it. So I just updated it because I realized it had just expired. So after that, I had to restart their computer. After restarting the computer, Mozilla was up to date, and then they are able to do what? To execute their tasks. So that is why I'm saying during the preventive maintenance, always try to make sure that you update your software to make it run, because now they wanted to send emails in time, but then they couldn't because the application had already expired. You get. Let me read someone's message here. Check. So can I use it to clean a CD in case it failed to work in a CD drive? Just to moments. Okay, okay. No, we don't want to intervene. Okay. Yeah, someone say, John says, sir, can I use petrol to clean a CD in case it failed to work in a CD drive? Now you see, it depends what has, anyway, I won't recommend to use petrol to clean a CD. First of all, I would recommend just a dry, clean, soft cloth, like the way how you know those ones are called what? You know that like what I don't know if do you know what they use to clean or to clean babies? What are they called? What are those ones called? They are some softy kind of, what are they called? You mean you don't have siblings, you don't have young sisters, and very good. Rachel has said wipes, very good. Thanks a lot. Yes, you see wipes, wipes are so nice because they are so soft, like they cannot put a scratch on a CD. That is why I'm saying it is better you use a very soft, dry piece of cloth to clean your CD. That is, in a case, it is not being read because it is dirty, you get. But by the time a CD gets dirty, trust me, it has already even lost somewhat, some data, if not data, but at least the quality. So, but then it is not only that data CDs are the ones that cannot be read. It still goes back, which drive are you using? You get, because sometimes you can go to a machine and then you put a CD, and once the CD, let me hope, yes, we are using the term CD, but we are referring to both DVDs and whatever optical drive you get. So now you may realize that, yes, fine, you're putting the what? The DVD or the Blu-ray in a hard drive, I mean in a on optical drive, and it is not being read. Is it compatible with the optical drive? That should be number one, actually, before even you go to start cleaning the disk. You first confirm whether it is compatible. You could be inserting a Blu-ray into a computer whose optical drive is actually capable of reading only CDs and DVDs. It cannot even ban them or write them. So it is, we have to first look at the compatibility issue. Then we can, of course, also look at, I've told you how you can clean it. Yeah. Otherwise, putting the liquid onto that optical, that liquid of petrol, I wouldn't recommend. Yes. Any question? Okay, as questions comes in, I like actually such kind of interaction. When someone asks, at least yes, I get to know that yes, we are all moving together. So keep sending them questions, because at the end of the day, if you don't ask, trust me, I will ask during exams, or employers will ask you during interviews, or even people will ask you, you get, or you will be given work whereby you need to use technical knowledge. If you didn't know, then it becomes a bit challenging. Yes. You see, in a computer, uh, in a computer, there are so many works people can do. Yeah, because you see, initially, me, when I had just graduated, I used it to do a lot of computer repair and maintenance. And you realize that as I advanced, now I no longer do actually computer repair and maintenance, not because I don't know, I know, but because of the time and the priorities. Now I'm giving much priority to what? To software. So you realize that now very many people actually continue to call me going to work on their stuff, but then because of time, I'm unable to what? To do so. So you realize that it is about understanding concepts once you know, because you need sometimes even someone can call me and actually I do now computer repair and maintenance as an hobby. Yes, because I like it and it is within me. I enjoy actually even doing it. I do it as a charity kind of maybe arrangement. I don't charge people in most cases if I'm to perform, because I like doing something and it comes out and yeah, because if I'm to charge, I feel like I'm no longer what they can offer. You get in that case. Yeah, but then once you understand well how to repair a computer, trust me, like there is a lot of work on the packet. And then Rachel asks, how can I repair a computer whose Windows license has expired? The obvious answer is to renew. You get. Why don't you renew? You get. Though there are so few people in developing countries, including Uganda, who use genuine what? Windows. All of those licenses are pirated ones. Yeah, but then, yeah, what you just need to do is to renew because it has expired. Expiring, you get a new license key and then port, so that you can, or your Windows can keep getting what updates direct from Microsoft. That is the best approach when you are to approach such a scenario, Rachel. Yeah, it is just about that. So preventive maintenance is similar to routine maintenance performed on a car, whereby in the same way you need to periodically check the oil, check the lights, engine, and other parts of the car in order for it to run smoothly. The same principle applies to preventive maintenance for what? The computer. Because you see, sometimes if you don't clean your car and then you keep moving in dusty places, time will come when the the fan can no longer blow to the expectations of the reaction of the heat or generated by the engine and other parts within the computer, the car, which may cause the car to heat up and sometimes even to catch fire. You get. So you see, a car catching fire does not just happen from nowhere. It is something that is built on over and over again. You get, until it feels like it can no longer handle and it just blows. You get. So the same applies to computers. But once you always maintain computers, you don't even get downtime. Because now just imagine, like of recent on between 27th and the 29th of last month, we had a certain project that we were launching in Amsterdam. But then you realize that now just imagine the computers you're using to launch actually this application. it is a medical and actually specifically dental solution. Yeah, there was an exhibition where we were trying to showcase our application and so on. But then just imagine, because the computers that you're using are not well maintained, and then during the presentation, the computer may be, behaves abnormal, you get. So the lay person, the doctors who have come to look at your application, to look at your system, may not know that probably this is something different from the application or from the system, and if it's just a hardware issue, they may end up not actually liking your system, and you end up losing a lot of money because of just minor issues of maintenance, you get. Yeah. There are several preventive measures you can take, including installing Windows updates. Rachel, you can see, yeah, you have to always update your Windows. You have to scan for viruses and malware, and running what we call cleaning programs. Remove what is not necessary, only maintain what you need. Then the antivirus and anti-malware scans should be run at least once a week, so that, because you know very well, every time you connect your computer to the internet, you are exposing it to what? To viruses and other attacks. You get, meaning that once you don't keep what we call updated antivirus, then obviously your machine will be infected. So be sure to run updates for these programs whenever the manufacturer or the vendor releases a new version. You get, yeah, because there is no software that does not get support from the owners. Yeah, because software can become expired the day it has been released. Yeah, because when those people who produce viruses will be just eager to break into the new applications. Yes. Then we have someone says, sir, can lack of RAM in the laptop lead to make it to display little light on the screen? If not, so what could be the problem with the laptop? Now, when you say lack of RAM, this is in artificial intelligence, especially machine learning, we call your statement confusion matrix. When you say, sir, can lack of RAM in the laptop lead to, there is no way, if the computer which doesn't have RAM, maybe you wanted it to mean maybe less RAM, or like a little RAM, or what? Because if there is no RAM in the laptop, then obviously the computer cannot even do what? It cannot even display to you. You cannot, like, of course, it will, you cannot use it. So I don't know whether you meant as in real lack of RAM, but then if lack of RAM, you cannot work with a computer that doesn't have RAM. But let me hope you wanted to mean like less RAM. So can the less RAM in the laptop lead or make it to display a little light on the screen? The answer is no. You get, yeah, the answer is no. The only major problem that the only case, like I told you, where you see that maybe your RAM is being constrained or you have less RAM, is when you give the computer much work of being performed at the same time, then you will see it freezing, you get, from time to time. Then you know that when you go and close some programs and you remain with maybe two, then it comes back to normal, it works well. Then just know that the issue is on RAM. Then you were like, okay, can it read or make it to display little light on the screen? I have already answered that, no. If not, so what could be the problem with the laptop? Now, sometimes, there are things that we may assume to be problems when they are not problems. Because sometimes you never know if you're using this computer with other people, by accidentally someone may have reduced the light on your laptop. If not that, then as let me hope you are observing my screen again. Yeah, so let me hope you are able to see what is happening on my screen. So actually now you see the computer is completely off, not because it is off, but actually it is the light that it has been done what? Reduced. So that could be the case that maybe someone did what? Someone who reduced it accidentally, or it could be that the issue is with your fiber. If the issue is on the laptop, the fiber that connects your system unit of the laptop to the screen, you get those connectors. Yeah, that is in it. If not, then obviously it is the screen issue you get. But I've told you, sometimes it can be just the settings that maybe, someone just reduced. If not that, then it could be maybe fiber. Then if not that, then it could be a screen issue, which is the last that I could probably, but not as a result of RAM. No. Then, but the best way is before the screen light changed, what happened? What did you last do? If you installed a certain program before, and then it obviously started misbehaving, I would always recommend you first revert to the previous state by removing, by uninstalling the latest installed program. Let me hope that what I'm talking makes some sense at least. Yeah, but you can keep doing what? Keep submitting questions and whatever. Okay, sir. Because I tried to increase the light, but it failed. So I don't know which laptop you are using and how you increase the light. But yeah, if you say that you increase the light, but still it failed, that means, yeah, then it is not functioning. The lights, yeah, have issues, because if you say there is no way you can increase the light and it does not actually adhere to that. If your network secure by installing a firewall and using safe downloading what practices. Now, that is why I was telling you that you have to keep your computer with updated antivirus, because most people, as I know, you use pirated software. You just go online and start downloading stuff. Yeah, so which stuff sometimes is not it's not safe. So now in doing so, at least once you have an updated antivirus, it will help you to do what? To identify what is safe and what is not safe, to protect your computer and then information from being compromised. Yeah. Then should any preventive measures fail, it is always a good idea to have a backup for important files. Yeah, you guys, what you have to do is always make backups. Make backups by all means. Your backups can be offline, or they can be via cloud. You get, but cloud is the way to go. Yes, always make sure you have the important information being kept somewhere on some servers online, whereby even if the computer goes, even if whatever happens, at least you have your stuff somewhere. Yeah, because now in cloud you can use platforms like OneDrive, that is for Microsoft. You can use Google Drive, that is for Google. You can use quite so many. You get, yeah, there are so many cloud platforms that we can use. Then we have another type of maintenance apart from the preventive maintenance, and this is the corrective what? Maintenance. Yeah. Corrective maintenance, commonly referred to as